What's going on, guys? Certified meteorologist Jonathan Keg is back with you. The West is really wet and the Midwest is really warm. In this video, we're going to break down a series of systems, the Pineapple Express in full swing. Strong atmospheric river set to slam parts of California. That means the potential for flooding in the lower elevations, crushing mountain snow in the Sierras. We'll break that down for you. In the Midwest, winter has gone away after increasing that snowfall across the upper Midwest. It is all but gone. And then through the south and east, we're going to turn things unsettled for the second half of the weekend. So we're going to break all that down. Before we get into the video, if you do want to stay updated on all things weather, you have to hit subscribe. Please do that if you happen to find this content helpful. And I hope you do. Please hit that thumbs up button. Small ask, but it really does help us out a lot. Post in the comments also where you're tuning in from. Would love to see that. Here we go. We're going to dissect this Pineapple Express. And this setup happens whenever we get this ribbon of moisture, strong ribbon of moisture, setting up that extends back towards Hawaii. And what we're looking at here is this blue and this yellow color. The blue and the purple indicate the dry air, relatively speaking anyway. That's where we have that in the Western Plains right now. But it's kind of this little ribbon of brightness, so to speak. That is what is going to be coming in our direction. We've already seen the very heavy rain in the Pacific Northwest, but you see that there. Big upper low is going to be kind of dipped just like that, and that is going to draw in and focus a lot of moisture, especially through the California coast, and then up the mountains of the Sierra Nevadas. So tons of snow coming in our direction, and then a lot of heavy rain basically from the Baja Peninsula, California, all the way to southern Oregon, and then into northern California. And this really gets going as we get into the weekend, and then early next week. You see the time frame there is going to be set to Tuesday at 4 o'clock. So I have the date up here for reference, and again, this is going to be from Friday, so February 2nd, all the way through February 5th. So that 3 to 4 day timestamp there, the time frame, and you see the amount of rain coming in our direction. And in some cases, these numbers from the model forecast could be overdone. So, I mean, we're talking about a widespread 3 to 6 inches of rain from LA into Santa Maria into San Francisco, San Jose also in there. Big bullseye there as we again focus all of that moisture from the Pacific Ocean right into the California coastline. You'll also notice that I don't have any numbers focused here. You see where the darker yellow and reds are here? That is some big time liquid equivalent to the rainfall here. That's going to be snow, of course. It's going to be cold enough in the higher elevation, so watch the snow really add up as we just get pounded here. Now, this is going to be all the way through Tuesday, February 6th, 60 inches of snow or higher across parts of the Sierra Nevadas there. You see Mammoth Lakes picking up around 60, South Lake Tahoe closer to 3 to 4 feet of snow coming our way, and then even higher elevations just to the north of Los Angeles, a lot of snow as a result of the atmospheric moisture. Also, failed to mention, if you want to skip across, I have the chapters in the description, so you can take a look at that too if you don't want to stick around for the warmth. Now, this is the ugly part if you like winter. It's gone away. We had our kind of 10-day stretch there where we had that big blast of Arctic air, a big Arctic outbreak a couple weeks ago. That is all but gone. Look at the temperature anomaly here. This is going to be for Friday, February 2nd. A lot of red. Now, the areas that we have the blue and the purple, this is below normal temperatures. That is because, I'll show you in a second, we have a series of upper lows working our way down the coast that we just showed you, that unsettled stretch for parts of the desert Southwest and Pacific Northwest and then the west coast of the U.S. That's keeping us on the cooler side out here. But all of this warmth, I mean, relative to normal, winter's all but gone there, and it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon either. And then also we have this little chunk of blue in Florida. There's also going to be another upper low. And again, I'll get into that upper level pattern in just 1 second. But I just kind of wanted to show you how the pattern is related to temperature is going to kind of play out over the next few days. This is all the way through Sunday, February 4th. Let me get all my squiggly lines off of here for you so you can see. And the warmth still baking, I mean, parts of the Northeast into the Mid-Atlantic. And then really relative to normal, look at that. I mean, we're talking 30-ish degrees above normal from what we would typically see. And we are kind of still in our climatologically speaking coldest time of the year in the upper Midwest. That last week of January is typically when we see the coldest air of the season. Again, on average anyway. We are trying to break free from that, but that is really, really warm stuff. And then again, cooler relative to normal in southeast and into the east. That is all because of this crazy pattern. Now, this is a really weird pattern to have in winter. This is what we call an omega block. And what an omega block is, it resembles the Greek alphabet, the Greek letter omega. You kind of see that here, right? Like that. It goes up, it goes down. We have an upper low right there, an upper low right there, and this big chunk of high pressure building right in the country. So when we're talking about these big heat outbreaks in the summer, that is likely because of an omega block, especially from like Minnesota down into Texas. That is also more often than not the culprit of that. We bake under these. Right now, though, this is causing us to be, again, 30-ish plus degrees above normal in places like Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, into Michigan, and the Dakotas. And then this is why we are cooler than normal, because we're sitting under that upper low off to the west coast. Now, I mentioned about the southeast being unsettled earlier in the video. There's like a little appendage of that upper low, and it becomes really cut off. You see that right there, and it just kind of situates itself over the deep south, and then eventually it picks Florida to hang out with for Sunday into Monday. So now this is exactly what we call a cutoff low. That means it's cut off from the normal flow, which is way up here, moving west to east. So we have this guy just chilling over the southeast and over Florida. That is going to keep the inclement weather around. I don't think too much in the way of severe weather over Florida. I think as we get towards the deep south, there's going to be the opportunity for some severe weather. But these cutoff lows typically don't bring that. They're more of those big negatively tilted troughs. There's Saturday, 11 o'clock, and you kind of see that working across the Gulf Coast. And there you go as we get into Sunday afternoon. So here's a little low at the surface. Again, there could be a few embedded strong thunderstorms in here as we move through the day on Sunday through Florida. And then watch what happens. This guy here just kind of hangs out. There's 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, so kind of an ugly day if you're watching from Florida, if you're watching from the southeast corner of the United States, because that is going to keep clouds around, that's going to keep rain around, and until it eventually works its way up the coast. Now, again, for my friends that want winter across the I-95 corridor, this one's not in the sweet spot. You want that to be right about there. So we are way away from that, and you see where the snow is, so you would want that displaced couple hundred miles to the northwest to get a nice, crushing, lovely, fun snowstorm across the I-95 corridor. Real quick, if you're rooting for something like that, this is going to be kind of a tease. The pattern does look like it might make a turn for the more wintry, so this also goes to my friends in the upper Midwest that are dealing with all the warmth. There could be another round of cold coming as we get into the second and third week of February, so keep an eye out for that. We're going to touch more on that in a later video, but just as like a kind of something to, if you're depressed about winter not being here, there's a little nugget to look forward to. I don't think it's completely over yet, although this is terrible stuff that's going on in the upper Midwest and Northeast when it comes to just the insanely warm temperatures that have just stolen winter after the big-time Arctic blast. Thank you a ton, guys, for tuning in and watching the video. Again, if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Would love to know where you're tuning in from. And again, if you want to stay updated on all things weather, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you next time.